students, welcome to the module on literary criticism during the earlier 19th century and Romanticism. The earlier 19th century background. Industrial Revolution and French Revolution had a great influence on the earlier 19th century. The Kantian system and Kant's aesthetics. Immanuel Kant, 1724 to 1804. He pitched the idea of literature as autonomous, as having no purpose beyond itself. It was a precursor to art for art's sake movement. He emphasized the non utilitarian and non moral character of art. His well known work was Critique of Judgment, which was published in 1790 and in which he discussed the concept of aesthetics. He was considered as one of the greatest philosophers of modern times. His other known works were Critique of Pure Reason and Observations on the Feeling of Beautiful and Sublime. He made a distinction between phenomena, which signifies world of objects we experience, and noumena, objects which are merely thinkable. He opined that poetry was an art of conducting a free play of the imagination. Immanuel Kant and George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel were the important thinkers of the earlier 19th century. G.W.F. Hegel, 1770 to 1831. He was known for his work, The Phenomenology of Spirit, which was published in 1807. Hegel integrated the insights of enlightenment with the thoughts of romantic writers on the unity of self and world. He was an influential advocate of what was later called as historicism. Hegel asserted that human identity and consciousness are in their very nature social and historical. Hegel, in his introduction to aesthetics, asserts that art is higher than nature. Art reconciles the worlds of sense and intellect, nature and thought, the external and the internal. His insights have influenced phenomenology, feminism, and psychoanalysis. William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge were considered as the important thinkers of the Romanticism movement. Romanticism. An introduction. The ideals of neoclassicism, such as decorum, order, normality of experience, and moderation, were displaced by an emphasis on individual experience. Edward Young's Conjectures on Original Composition and William Duff's An Essay on Original Genius discussed the principles of Romanticism. These two works stress the claims of originality, genius, and creative imagination. The early British practitioners of Romanticism were Thomas Gray, Oliver Goldsmith, Robert Burns, and William Blake. The English movement reached its most mature expression in the works of William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. There was a parallel movement of Romanticism in Germany and France. William Wordsworth, 1770 to 1850. William Wordsworth authored the preface to Lyrical Ballads in 1798 and Prelude. His poems attempt to present the real language of men in a state of vivid sensation. He argued that a poet selects ordinary things but makes them appear extraordinary through the transforming power of imagination. He was of the opinion that all good poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings and emotions recollected in tranquility. And a poet's essential focus is to establish connection between the inner world of human nature and the world of external nature. And the purpose of poetry is to give immediate pleasure. He sees truth as discernible only by poetic insight. S.T. Coleridge, 1772 to 1834. He was known for his The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. He co authored lyrical ballads with Wordsworth. His literary criticism includes detailed studies of Shakespeare and Milton. His Biographia Literaria was a highly influential text. It was an eclectic work combining intellectual autobiography, philosophy, and literary theory. Coleridge was the first English critic to build literary criticism on a philosophical foundation. He was influenced by the writings of Immanuel Kant. He distinguished imagination from fancy. He was known for his concept willing suspension of disbelief. These are the other important writers of Romanticism. Dorothy Wordsworth. She authored letters, poems, and series of journals. P.B. Shelley. He was known for his defense of poetry, and it was an influential manifesto of fundamental romantic principles. John Keats, who was known for his concept negative capability, and Lord Byron. The major American romantics were Ralph Waldo Emerson, who authored Nature, Walt Whitman, who was known for his Leaves of Grass, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Margaret Fuller, Henry David Thoreau, E. A. Poe, and Herman Melville. In our next module, we will discuss literary criticism during the later 19th century. Thank you.